Shalom, and welcome back to the Levine Family Learning Series. If you missed last week's learning, you can find it, as always, on the Levine YouTube page. You may or may not be aware, but we happen to be in kind of a sad time in the Jewish tradition. Last Thursday, July 6th, marked Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, or in English, the 17th of Tammuz. It's a day that is remembered in the Hebrew month of Tammuz, and it falls on, well, you guessed it, the 17th day of the month. Rabbis are not very creative at naming things. Shiva Asar B'Tammuz marks the day that the Roman army broke through the walls of Jerusalem and began a 3-week-long attack that would end with the destruction of the Second Temple on the 9th of Av in the year 70 CE. As a result, every year at this time, we enter a 3-week-long period of mourning, which ends on Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, this year on July 27th. Traditionally, we avoid big celebrations and festivals at this time, and some people even stop getting haircuts. But this sometimes can feel really, really weird to do in America today. In fact, these 3 weeks always fall in the summertime, a time when we're out of school, we're at home, or at summer camp, we're hanging out with our friends, and generally just enjoying life. Now, don't worry, I am not here to tell you to stop having fun this summer. Quite the opposite. Have fun. Have a great summer. But also, let's take a moment to acknowledge the sadness of this time of year. Now, wait a second. How do we do that? How can I both be happy and have a good time, but while thinking about sad things? This is quite the difficult balance, but actually finding this balance is something we do all over the Jewish tradition. In services, after singing joyfully about the awesomeness of God and community, we say the mourner's Kaddish for those who have died. At weddings, we smash a glass at the end of the wedding to acknowledge the brokenness of the world around us. And on Purim, we sing and dance and dress in fun costumes, but then shout out at the name of that one awful man. In fact, in the book of Devarim, the 5th book of the Torah, in chapter 24, verse 18, Moshe instructs the Israelites that every single day they should Zacharta ki eved hayita b'Mitzrayim. Remember that you were once a slave in Egypt. But why should we spend so much time thinking about the past? Can't we just get over it and move on with our lives? Well, the clue to this answer actually doesn't rely in the text itself, but rather in the context of which we find it. You see, in the rest of this passage in the book of Devarim, Moshe is instructing everyone on how to treat one another, how to live in community in a way that is supportive and lifts everyone up. By remembering the awful times we once went through, we become inspired to make sure that it never happens again. Not only to us, but to anyone. In the same way, by remembering these 3 sad weeks in Jewish history during our super fun summer, we stop ourselves from ignoring the very real problems around us, just because we're having some fun. Hopefully, it makes us stop and think about our own summer and the people around us, and maybe we even notice that one person in the corner who's not having such a great summer. Then we might think about what we can do to help them. So for your family discussion questions today, I want you to ask yourselves, what are some sad things that you've had to go through in your life? How did you get through it? Who helped you out and made you feel better? And how did those sad events inspire you to help other people? What can you do to lift them up? So over these next few weeks, I hope you can take a moment to think about our shared Jewish history, both the good and the bad times. I hope that by doing so, we find ourselves appreciating even more the great summer we have and the great people we have to spend it with. Shabbat Shalom.